the money that I collected is honorable that brought to
Can we make a contribution to Nigerian people?
I want all of them look into what comes in Nigeria when you want to take steps every day to make this country a better place.
New Nigeria is
indications telling them it's time to change.
All colors, shades, angles, and perspectives can be overwhelming in our present world of information overload. This is introducing Ground Zero. Ground Zero is a current affairs discussion phone-in program covering topical issues in the polity. The program is a platform for an in-depth analysis of trending issues by professionals, authorities in various fields, analysts, and key actors in the polity. Ground Zero gives the listener an opportunity to contribute to the discussion via phone call, SMS, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. From the conservatively serious to the ridiculously funny, Ground Zero accommodates them all. Professionals, urban contemporary businessmen and women, policymakers, public service workers, students, artisans, traders, and the in-between. Ground Zero comes up on Tuesdays from 5 to 6 p.m. and Saturdays 4 to 5 p.m. Ground Zero. This program is exclusive to Invicta 98.9 FM. Tune in.
Another lovely Tuesday evening, and you're right here tuned to Invicta 98.9 FM. It's time for the Never Dull Moment program on radio. That's Ground Zero. Ground Zero is a program where we pick up topical issues in the polity, and with analysts in-house and you, the listener, we try to analyze all of these items. And the program is on multiple platforms on Invicta FM radio and, of course, the Ground Zero platform. And to be a part of the program, you need to go to all of those our platform right here. But first, let me give you the snippets of what we'll be discussing on the program this evening. Okay, first we'll be looking at Abba Kyari's arrest and the tremors that's already been noticed across security agencies. Also on the program today, we'll be looking at Tinubu 2023 and the many obstacles. Lastly on the program, we'll be looking at the looming ASUU strike, the pros and the cons. My guest on the program today is Eddie Ochigbo, who is a veteran journalist and media strategist, and Danjuma Abbas Dangwa from the Coalition of Association in Leadership, Peace, Empowerment and Development. But before we get to meet them and get to know more about them, I'd like to tell you that to be a part of the program, we have multiple platforms and handles where you can be a part of it, starting from Facebook. The Facebook account of Invicta FM is Invicta FM Kaduna. And of course, the page where you can watch us live streaming the video is Invicta FM 98.9. Invicta FM 98.9 on Facebook. Just go there, you'll see us, and let's get talking. On Twitter, it is at Invicta FM 989. At Invicta FM 989. And on Instagram, it's also at Invicta FM 989. At Invicta FM 989. And on YouTube, which I'd want you to go subscribe to, is the Invicta 98.9 FM online TV. YouTube, go to Invicta 98.9 FM online TV. Yes, you get to the YouTube page there. Subscribe to the page, click your notification, and to let you know that we'll be doing a whole lot of freebies and giveaways right there at the YouTube page of Invicta FM. That's Invicta FM YouTube page. That's Invicta 98.9 FM online TV. That's the YouTube page where we'll be doing plenty of freebies and giveaways very, very soon. I will start with those that are subscribed to the page. And of course, our website is invictafmng.com. Invictafmng.com. The official hashtag that you'd always use for Invicta FM is hashtag Invicta989FM. Let's make that hashtag trend. Okay, coming back to the program and giving you a little background on what we'll be discussing on the program this evening. It's no longer news that the one-time Nigerian Super Cup, Abba Kyari, has been arrested. But the thing that is news is that while many people were thinking that is a hush puppy case that would lead to his arrest, it is not the hush puppy case. The very day that hush puppy is appearing in court in the USA, that same day in Nigeria, Abba Kyari was also arrested. And guess what? He was arrested by the police, handed over to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency after the indictment that he was involved in a drug cartel in Nigeria. That was the reason why they sent out that wanted notice, and eventually, under less than 24 hours, he was arrested. And looking at the case and how many heads will roll, that's what is coming now, as more senior police officers are set to be arrested. More senior police operatives and other security agents would be arrested following the detention of DCP Abba Kyari, the suspended commander of the Intelligence Response Team at the Force Intelligence Bureau of the Nigerian Police Force over drug-related offenses. These are coming from credible sources in quote. Now, Kyari was on Monday, that's yesterday, declared wanted by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency for selling cocaine consignments seized by the IRT operatives from Drugs Bureau at the Enugu Airport in January this year. And according to newspaper reports, there was a high-profile complicity in the latest incident involving the widely celebrated Super Cup, who the NDLEA said had strong ties with cross-border drug baron, using his position in the police as a cover. Serious infractions have been seen between agents against Abba Kyari in relation to drug crimes, but the matter was being dragged at the police headquarters in Abuja and commands in some states. If you recall, Abba Kyari was one gentleman that even our National Assembly had to honor him, and he is also touted as one of the best cops in Nigeria. Excuse me. And if you also recall, he really came into major limelight when he arrested Evans, the popular kidnap kingpin. And since then, it has been Abba Kyari everywhere, and we are where we are today. Secondly, he also became even internationally popular when he was directly linked to Hush Puppy. You recall Hush Puppy is a Nigerian Instagram celebrity that was involved in wire fraud based in Dubai, that's the United Arab Emirates, and arrested by the FBI, repatriated, and presently standing trial. That is that for Abba Kyari and his so many problems. Now, the second item that we will be looking at is Tinubu 2023 and the many obstacles. Yes, right from the moment when it became apparent that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu would be contesting in the 2023 presidential election, and when he came out after notifying President Muhammadu Buhari, so many things have happened in and around him. While conspiracy theorists are coming out with their own theory, some are also pointing in different directions. Recently, he was at the palace of the Awujale of Ijebu land, where when standing up to make some comment, a patch was noticed behind his butt, and people said he urinated in his body. And there is the medical term associated with that, that just like children that cannot hold their urine, that Tinubu has gotten to that age where he's already behaving and thinking like children. Well, there's no proof to that, but of course, people would always point fingers and say what they want to say. The video is out there. People have seen it. Still talking about the video, the Abba Kyari video is also out. You can search for it and have a look at it. And lastly is the looming ASU strike, and the pros and the cons. We'll also be looking at these ones on the program today to see if they will carry on with the strike they've already declared, if the federal government will quickly step in, why the federal government would always wait until there's a strike before stepping in, and how this is going to impact on the educational system and, of course, on our children that are in various higher institutions across the nation. All right. Those are the details, and like I told you, I said I get to introduce my guest when I'm done with telling you more details about the snipers that I read out. I have Danjuma Abbas Dangwa from the Coalition of Association in Leadership, Peace, Empowerment and Development, CARPED, already seated in the studio. Danjuma, you're welcome to Ground Zero.
Thank you very much, Ahis, for having me this evening, and good evening to our audience out there.
I also have with me in the studio Eddie Ochidbo. He's a veteran journalist and a media strategist. Eddie, you're welcome to Ground Zero.
Thank you very much. He's my lovely Valentine greetings to the listening public.
Wow. For those watching our video feeds, yeah, the Valentine is very apt. If you see the way Eddie Ochidbo is dressed, you know that he's still basking in the euphoria of yesterday's Valentine. And like someone said much earlier today, here on this channel in Victor FM, Mamula said today is Boxing Day of Valentine. Eddie is celebrating the Boxing Day of Valentine. All right, Eddie Ochidbo, Danjuma Abbas, you've all heard the details of what we are discussing this morning. I'd like us to just, this evening, I'd like us to just jump into it straight, starting from the first one, which is the Super Cup in quote that has been demystified about Kyari and all that happened. While one thing that I didn't say was a political angle to it, people were already reading some political undertones saying that his association and relationship with a particular person that has shown interest in the 2023 presidential election could be one of the reasons too why he is being clamped down. Hounded. Yes, that's the word now. Generally, Martins, give me your take.
Well, it's unfortunate. It is quite truly unfortunate that the first indication from the FBI arrest of the person they call Hush Puppy did not provoke the Nigerian police to really x-ray their system, the recruitment process, and these people that they have serving this nation at various capacities, you know, as we have it today. Not to forget again that not so long ago, we had the protest of all protests, the mother of all protests, long after Occupy Nigeria in 2012. Yeah. That is the NSAS protest, and this was predominantly young people coming out to say, well, we have suffered this level of infractions and police are responsible for it, and elements like this are part and parcel of the people who are making such environments, you know, hostile for young people across the country. We did not take it to heart again, because looking at what the police have on their doorstep, the report, the issue of Abba Kyari being mentioned in the FBI's investigation seems not to have been enough. You know, the job seems not to have been so thorough. What has happened from then till now is a situation where perhaps the institution said, well, you know, you are a boy, You just go back, enjoy the free holiday. Don't worry. When everything is cool and calm, we'll bring you back in the system and nobody will know. Because you cannot explain away how someone who has been already indicted for having other job working, employment activities outside the employer's dictates and policing is a 24-hour job, more or less.
But even when this particular issue happened, he was still under suspension.
Yes.
When they arrested the supposed drug baron in Port Harcourt,
yes,
Abba Kyari was in suspension.
Yes.
How did he put his team together to do that?
Yes, well, what I'm saying is that he has been in suspension, but he has not been inactive. Yes, he has not been inactive. So certainly here is somebody who still understands the ropes, who can still continue to do business as usual, because nobody is really interested in investigating and understanding what his itinerary, looks like, or what he is carrying. So certainly Abba Kyari has been enjoying a field day, and that now begs the question whether we still have people who are wearing these uniforms and perpetrating crime, and because the fact that they wear these uniforms, they are also the enforcement arm they are part of the enforcement arm of the law, that they can do as they please without the investigations leading to them, because they have to investigate themselves. This is a situation where you actually want to x-ray institutional workings, whether our institutions are really working around fishing out this kind of people within the system. So it's a shame already. Like I would have said earlier, what we have been trying to micromanage in Nigeria, some way somehow have blown off in our faces. And worse still, the Nigerian police may have shown that they are so ineffective in investigating issues, so much so that it has taken this long only for NDLEA to uncover a new perspective to Abba Kyari beyond the issue of money laundering and high-profile criminal tailoring services. So now you are now having the new perspective where illicit drug trafficking is now a part of the issue. So how do you really say and dismiss now the agitation of young people who came out to say NSAS? Because some people have this kind of a toga of invisibility and also immunity in perpetuating immunity and corruption within the force.
That indeed is where we find ourselves today in Nigeria, and that is also what we want to correct. All right, so let's come to Eddie Ochido and also have your take on, I can't call it the Abba Kyari gate again, the Abba Kyari scandal or show of shame. What's your take on this?
Thank you very much, Ahis, and I'm happy to be given the privilege to speak about this very, very scandal, as you put it. Not gate. It's more than a gate now. It's a scam. And I'll take you back to mid-80s. Let me know, just so that I don't get when President Buhari, took charge, overthrew Shagari, took charge of the affairs of this country, and the issue of Ogedengbe. You remember the two boys or so, three? I was
they were shot at the Babish.
I was in my early 20s then, so there were outcry. Please don't kill these boys. That was just because they were found with some few grams, or something like that, and the entire Nigeria rose and said, "No, please don't kill them." The president, George Buhari, at that time, who was head of state. He ordered for their killing. They were
at Babish.
At Babish, they were executed
firing squad.
By firing squad.
Yeah.
So why I raise that point is that I don't know how all this saga sits with the president, or how he's sitting with it. Because if he were at that point when he was still a young general that has a lot of disgust for drug abuse and drug trafficking, and this is happening under his nose. I thought that because of what he did when he was head of state, killing those
young men,
ordering for their killing,
2 men and 1 woman.
Yeah, it was
a crippled woman. Then
Nigeria mourned them.
Yeah.
Great people, So I don't know how the president is sitting in the Aso Rock there when he hears that one of his men tagged a super extraordinary cop or whatever, is actually not. If he's not even dealing, he's a drug baron. Drug baron. That is, he even knows the prices.
Yeah.
He knows the template of how this. From the thing is there. The video is there. He knows everything. How is the president feeling? Is my concern. And it's a shame, as you put it rightly, that somebody who is given the responsibility to do the right thing, to show how right things are done, and does not, report to any of the commissioners in the 36 states of this country.
Directly to the Inspector General.
But that's 37 commands.
Yes.
State commands. He just goes to anywhere, with his men and the team. They do anything, nobody can ask them question. What does that tell you? And he was found again in the marriage of one of the children of the IG. Or so there, while on suspension, he went there with his men so this is a very, very big scandal, and I expect that Nigeria and Nigerians should hold the federal government to account to ensure that it is not what they call conspiracy theory now that they are talking about, because it's already a wanted person in the United States. He's supposed to be extradited. Yeah. So there is this, conspiracy theory that they are trying to step down. But what they don't understand is that the crime they are attaching him to, they are alleging him to have committed now is worse than what is going to take him to the United States. So it's double jeopardy, double crime on him if they think that, or except Nigerians who just sit and sleep and say no, let's see how it watches, and then they release. It's supposed to be dismissed by now. That's my take.
Like the conspiracy theory that you're talking about, where they are saying that if he's standing a crime in Nigeria, he cannot be extradited until he's done.
Don't take it that way. I listen to professionals.
Okay.
On analysis and of what it is all. Ortega of Nicaragua. Yes. Nicaragua. He had to be, after finishing one, he was deported to another country.
Yeah.
So it's not about saying, okay, we step it down. If he faces this one, if he's not, I thought that they even if we were in a military decision, he should be shot in the garbage. I mean, that was what the president did.
Yeah.
And so history has changed. Okay, we're in a democratic district, so they will try him for this. First of all, I think that he should be dismissed by now. Try him for this. If he finishes, then he will answer the crime he has, money laundering that he has in the United States.
Wow. You're listening to Invicta 98.9 FM, and the program is Ground Zero, your never dull moment program where we discuss trending issues in the polity. We'll take some messages, and right after that, we'll come back and talk about Tinubu's 2024 ambition and the 2023 ambition and the many obstacles. Yes, thanks for the correction. I saw that in one of our posts. And also the Lumina Suit strike and the pros and cons of it all. Welcome back from that commercial timeout. You're listening to Ground Zero on Invicta 98.9 FM. And this evening, I have Danjuma Abbas Zangwa and Eddie Ochigbo as my studio guests. And we have looked at the Al-Bakari arrest and what it and the tremors that we are already feeling in different parts of the world. And next we'll be looking at the 2023 presidential election, Tinubu and the many obstacles. And the most recent one is the one that concerns his health. Now, you would recall that in 2014-2015, that's how conspiracy theorists also came out that our president may not be able to go through the rigors of ruling a country like Nigeria, that is held and all of that. But here we are today. The general is still standing strong and fit like a fiddle, if I dare say. Now, Tinubu is the one that's in the eye of the storm, and this is also coming out now. For how long do we continue all of this? And should the health of a candidate be a criteria when it comes to deciding who should rule and who shouldn't rule? Danjuma, let's have your take.
If I will start with answering let me start by answering the last question. The health will matter. Managing a country with Nigeria, with this kind of plurality, diversity, and the level at which we are today, having experimented different, types and forms of government, it is important that the person who saddles responsibility of taking those critical decisions is of sound mind, and sound health. So that is that goes without saying. However, every now and then the issue of the man Bola Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu comes up. I can never underscore the contribution that this man has made to democracy in Nigeria today. And I would, like a voter, be more interested in who is he, what is his antecedents in terms of public service, private service, and his private life, and how well has that impacted on the society, on nation building, and what have you. Tinubu is one of the persons you can point at, when you consider the current administration today of President Muhammadu Buhari, which has not also been faced with its own peculiarity and challenges. However, where does he stand as to the plight of the citizenry today? We know that under his leadership, you could say that he was a person who ran a welfarist kind of a government at that time. Yes, I know when we talk about welfarism in governance, you will consider Tinubu as a chief promoter of that. Now, Tinubu has been able to mentor and see to the emergence of more governors across the Southwest. How well has that impacted around human capital development? How well have that impacted in the issues around people being safeguarded from falling into poverty? How well has it made these communities secured, productive, and with an improved GDP? I am certain that if the person Tinubu did not suck from the system more than he gave into the system, then certainly you'll be talking about someone who should be considered based on his impact, for that assignment. But if just this were the real issues behind his emergence, I would say that we still have gotten someone who had made valuable contribution in time past. However, because of, again, the records around Tinubu's records around who he is, where he schooled, when he schooled, and even the issue of his age, which has become very much under contention of recent. And because, again, in legal terms, there is what you call perjury, which in itself, again, when you provide information about yourself that is deemed to be false. That is a weighty crime in itself. So, in between all that, if Tinubu is at home with reality that this is who he is, and the people whom he has served over the years can still attest and come out and market him across to Nigerians that yes, in 2023, this is the person that we should be talking about, and especially that these people are not talking about his pockets because he's a welfareist. Then certainly we are going to be getting it right. So the main issue here is, where is Tinubu in the implementation of the Buhari's manifesto, the implementation plans of his agenda,
3-point agenda,
and then where are we now along all that, and what is his opinion about that performance should also be weighty issues that the nation is also supposedly expected to be interested in, considering the fact that these are pointers to know whether we are going to continue on the path that we have started, or we are going to be getting someone who thinks that there's an alternative. Because in it all, at the crux of it all is nation building.
All right.
And can Tinubu really deliver? Can he really put together and unite Nigerians along a line of vision? Because even now that we're talking about Tinubu in 2023, there is no vision cast by Bola Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu, other than the fact that being a president is his lifetime ambition.
Eddie Ochido, quickly too.
But Martins, I've taken all the things, but no problem. Let me go straight. First and foremost, I've stated this several times on Ground Zero. I'm not Tinubu's fan. I can never be. And first and foremost, what we should consider is that even in the Bible, there comes a time when the mighty falls. There comes a time when the rich cries. So when you bring the issue of urinating on this thing, it's not surprising. Because if you say you are extraordinary or supernatural, you are not above God, you are not God. Yeah. So it's a lesson to our politicians that they should never play God, because God is the ultimate. He's the one who announces a leader. He's the one who pronounces leadership upon an individual. Then, finally speaking, concerning the issue of Tinubu, I think it's the chicken coming home to roost, because Nigerians have woken to that awareness, that political awareness that, look, even if you throw money at me, which Tinubu and his supporters are up and doing, throw money at me, but let Nigeria go back, inwards and think, is the APC administration, how has it been able to, where has it taken them to? Will they want a Tinubu to continue with that legacy? That is where you get the answer. So right. to me, Tinubu 2023 presidential ambition does not matter to me, because I know that Nigerians will take the right decision when they go to vote.
All right, quickly also, your beat on the Lomi ASUU strike, the pros and cons.
No, the Lomi ASUU strike is an overkill, actually, because that shouldn't have even been contemplated to happen. And even I listened to the president of ASUU when they asked him what was the communication between him and the federal government, and he was saying that the communication was that they called the press. There was a breakdown of communication, and you know why? Because already the ASUU leadership we are standing in good stead to do anything to the federal government, because the federal government has failed. Not memorandum of understanding, but memorandum of action.
Yes, because they already agreed on the
action, and then you don't do it. So why
set a timeline for action?
When some people say that students should carry protests against their,
they will never do that.
They should never do that. They should carry their protests to Aso Rock, to the National Assembly. Why would they allow, for instance, our education to collapse? That's what the federal government is doing. Talk to these people. Why do you even promise if you know you cannot? You are not able to deliver your promise. Why do you take it as a child's play? Education.
So sad and painful. And the federal government keeps trying to spin the fact that ASUU is inconsiderate. Look at all of their demands, really. There's nothing that's inconsiderate about their
How much
demands.
is a professor paid? Only 300 and something thousand. And people are stealing millions. The people in the National Assembly are collecting 15, 14 million a month. A professor, a character molder.
Yes.
Who molded who we are, even in the National Assembly, president, everybody, and you're paying them a chicken feed of
Poetry.
a professor. It's a shame.
Danjuma, quickly add your voice to that before we start to take calls.
It is shameful. It is shameful, but these professors have been counting and writing votes in Nigeria.
And counting it wrong.
And they have also been molding character. And when you consider leadership, we have it as they have molded it. I'm actually going to play devil's advocate on the ASU strike, because this is one of the major contention for me. I asked someone from ASU lately, what is this current strike about? And I had the issue of the IPPIS,
Salary issue.
that it is not working for the people in the academia.
Yeah.
And we're talking about lecturers who are employed in another school, being visiting lecturers in another institution, another institution. Maybe that is something that works well for all of us. However, I'm asking the question, where then is the handover, the baton exchange between the old generation and the new ones? How does someone who is working in an institution want to work in 6 to 7 other institutions across Nigeria and still want to be paid salaries across all of those places and not travel allowances and other expenses? Now, the only time that I've been impressed with an ASU strike is when the issues of contention is about the learning environment. But rarely do you see these issues come up. It is always about their welfare. And look at contextually the Nigerian state today. When you say research should contribute to governance, research should contribute to science, to technology, research should contribute to all of this. No, I said that was the only time. I said that was the only time I was impressed with their strike.
No, they still raise it.
Like I still say, sir, that was the only time I was impressed with their strike. However, let us be at home with reality. If ASU wants Nigerians to really back them in this particular strike, they should make these issues that they are demanding for public.
They've made it public.
We need to know it all, and then just so that we do not get the situation where it is just the IPPIS that is the main issue that they are trying to achieve with this strike, and that it is also about improving learning and environment, ensuring that our institutions are the cradle for research and development, and that the new resolve of the kind of human capital that we have in our tertiary institutions are keen in improving the quality of education in this nation. Anything short of that, for me, will be the fact that I'm not going to be speaking well for the fact that there are more Nigerians unemployed, underemployed, and we have only a few people employed within what we call the recurrent expenditure, and spending every resource of the Nigerian state where commensurate growth and development is not realized cannot really be something that we should applaud. So I am also throwing it out as a challenge to ASU to really reinvent themselves and prove to us that there are grounds for which this particular demands and protests that they are making should be supported by the Nigerian public.
And actually that they already crystallized in the press release, which after the program you can go to the Ground Zero Facebook page. You see the complete comprehensive press release where all their demands are crystallized and all of that. 081400989 07087800989. Let's get to meet our first caller. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. You're welcome to Ground Zero.
Thank you. Pius calling you from Malali, Kaduna.
All right, Pius, can you in 30 seconds give us your take?
Yes. On the issue of Abakari, I just smell something wrong somewhere. I don't really think that what they just suspecting him or committing, whether he has done something. I am spending somewhere about this issue. Maybe people they are praying for the Almighty God to give us a very good a candidate, somebody that will take Nigeria to the promised land. And that is it. The issue of ASU, I would like to urge the federal government, please, they should stop taking education for granted, because if any nation wants to be destroyed, they should temper with their own education system. And that is exactly what is going on in Nigeria.
All right.
This government should be serious. Good evening, Nigerians.
Thank you so much, Pius. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero.
Good evening, Mr. Aziz. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
I greet your guests in the studio. My name is Musa Bala.
All right, Musa Bala, you are welcome to the program.
Happy New Year to all of you.
Musa Bala, good evening.
Let me quickly go to Abakari. It's a very nice development. Whatever the circumstances, the federal government is winning its fight against corruption and other social vices. And I want to call on the federal government to thoroughly investigate this issue of Abakari and link it to the current insecurity going on in Nigeria. I think there will be a lot of hatred from indication. All the network connected people in it should brought to both. And on the annual ritual or annual culture of ASU that has been going on for the past 30 years, let me start give thanks to the University of Ilorin. They have never been part of them because they don't believe in this strike. It has never solved problem, and I don't think it will solve problem. While the University of Ilorin have been very stable, they've been solving their problem gradually, and I don't think ASU have the right to demand how government should pay them. They have the right to demand government must pay them, but they don't have the right to tell government this is the way they want government to pay them. And on the you discussed about the Abuja election, or that's the last issue?
The last issue is about Tinubu 2023.
Okay. Tinubu has said it all. The president has no right to decide who will be the next president of Nigeria, but Nigerians have the right to decide who will be the next president of Nigeria. And the president has said it for long. Go out since 2019 election. Please, Nigerians, go out and elect your leaders, irrespective of their political parties that you like. My last prayer is that may God continue to bless us with good leaders, no matter their religion or tribe, and no matter where they come from in Nigeria. And may God continue to distance us from bad leaders or corrupt leaders, no matter who they are, no matter where they come from, no matter their religion, and no matter their tribe. God bless Nigeria. God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Musa Bala. We'll take this call now. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Hello. We can barely hear you. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Ace.
Yes, you're welcome to Ground Zero. In 30 seconds, let's know you and make your point.
My name is Taye calling from Ghana.
All right, Taye.
You see this Abakari saga, to be honest, let's stop publicizing this saga. When something is wrong, it's wrong. Most times, most especially in this dispensation, every little thing that has to affect one of them, they publicize it. They bring religion into it. It's very bad. By now, Abakari should be in jail. Let's call it space. They should be in jail by now. For Tinubu, you should forget about 2023. In fact, we're waiting for them 2023. The name APC makes me sick.
quickly ran away.
We'll quickly come back to the studio now and take our parting shot, starting from Danjuma Abbas Zangwa.
Nonetheless, despite the fact that the ASU strike has started, I still feel that the way and manner the Ministry of Labour and Productivity and also the administration of the Buhari government have taken the issue of labor in this country, which has also given root to what is happening at states, is very, 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 very sad. The doors for dialogue should stay open, and they should engage the Nigerian labor respectfully. These people who man the affairs of this nation should honor agreements when they are made, should honor these memorandums when they have committed to them. And let us see a face of governments that really says that the people are in charge and not the few who hold the reins of power. As for the issue of Abakari, there are so many things that, you know, one will feel so wrong in this nation. Institutions should be able to purge themselves of such kind of antics and malpractices. The fact that the Nigerian police have not shown leadership, you know, cannot be overemphasized. The issue of Abakari has lingered for so long. First, it was in the eyes of the public. You know, the public had made their outcry that something is wrong with our policing system and the force, and now it is a sister agency coming out to really pick out some other aspects of this wrong. This is not the end of it. I'm certain if the police investigation was thorough, things like this will have been found about this individual. So let's see our institutions work for our best interest.
Eddie, your parting shot.
Thank you very much, Ahis. I would like to part by saying that the country is actually passing very, very troubling times. We must realize that, because I cannot reconcile how a police cop, super cop, begin to, you know, play the role of a drug baron. That's one. And secondly,
at the time, we are really out of time.
Okay, let me conclude by saying that we're in very, very troubling times, and we take a strong leader, because we're talking about leadership, to take us out of the woods. And I'm sorry you cut me short. You gave the whole time to Martins, and when
I did not.
No, but you shouldn't have done so. That's the truth. I protest.
Okay.
I have a lot to say.
Protest accepted.
Yes.
And the subsequent edition of the program, I'll give you the time to say it.
You stopped me from talking very important things.
All right, I'll be leaving now. I have Ephraim Ebene also with me in the studio. He's been helping out with some of the research. Ephraim, you've never said anything this year. Ephraim, how are you and what's up?
Well, I'm good. I'm glad to be in the studio, at least to listen to men. Understand, actually giving out points. I'm learning from them, really, and I'm enjoying the moment.
All right.
Happy New Year to everybody, to listeners.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I am Ahis Adbon. The program Ground Zero is a regular feature right here on Invicta 98.9 FM. Comes up every Tuesdays and Saturdays. Tuesdays from 5 to 6 and Saturdays from 4 to 5. And of course, the conversation goes on even after the program right there at Ground Zero 989 on Twitter and Ground Zero Show on Facebook. Let's meet there and keep the gist going on.